Are you? How are you? As promised, this is Ms.B coming to you live on a Saturday afternoon, 1 p.m. East Coast time. I am on Storm Talk 365 as well as Storm Radio's 24/7 Facebook page with Black Credit Report. Oh my goodness, something new. That's right. You will find me coming on all during the week with different interviews with different people for different reasons. And today I have Yemima Davis as a special guest on the Black Credit Report, where we give credit to the Blacks who have made a contribution to our global society, where a lot of people don't know. From potato chips, blood transfusions, a street light, peanut butter, you name it. There's a lot of things that everybody is taking full advantage of and have no clue that it came from a Black man. But for right now, this is Ms.B, Positively Ms.B. I am the CEO of Storm Talk 365 Radio, faith-based podcast network, where you can hear myself and others help you to talk to the storms in your life. But this afternoon, I'm coming to you on Storm Radio 24/7, where we focus on the arts, business, entertainment, and much, much more. The Black Credit Report will be coming to you every Saturday at 1 p.m. East Coast time. And I'm blessed to say that our special guest today has agreed to come on twice a month, the first and third Saturday of every month. That's 1 p.m. East Coast time, right here live on Facebook. All of our podcasts can be heard on iHeart, iTunes, Spotify, and many, many more. So I'm excited to welcome Yemima. Are you there?
I am here. Thank you. Thank you for having me today. How's everyone doing out there? It's hot, so stay inside.
That's right. And watch all of our videos. All right, everybody. So what are we going to talk about today, Yemima? Before we do that, I know who you are, but briefly tell them your history when it comes to sharing the Black credit. I understand you've done theater and you've done movies and you have something special going on right now. So tell them a little bit about what you have going on.
Well, I'll give you a little bit of history of who I am, and I'll start with my name, Yemima. It was a name that I chose, and it goes back to Aunt Jemima. And for so long, we've used that term as derogatory toward Black women who would maybe cover their heads with scarves, or if they considered to be catering to the white man or the white people, it would be called Aunt Jemima's. And I heard her story, her real story, on the Tom Joyner morning show one morning. And I did some research, and I found out that Aunt Jemima was a real person. Her name was Nancy Green, and she was the first Black storyteller, the first Black supermodel, because she became the face of the Pancake Company at the age of 57, right out after the Civil War. This woman, this queen, was a millionaire. Before Madam C.J. Walker, she was a millionaire. She put in $1,200 a month back in 1880-something, which equivalates to like $250,000 in today's money. So this is the type of thing, this is the history. And once I found out who Aunt Jemima really was, and I knew that I was a storyteller as well, I took her namesake.
Wow.
And yeah, and Jemima is also found in the Bible. It's found in the book of Job. In the book of Job, after his first set of children were killed, the second time he had children with his wife, his oldest daughter was named Jemima.
Keep going. I know I have to ask questions, but I'm just still stuck on your mama was rich because I never looked it up. But I did know the history behind the pancake mix. So, but what an honor to have done that. But so now we know that you are Yemima, famous storyteller, and you have your riches already waiting for you to claim. So keep going.
So when people call me Aunt Jemima, I say, you know what? I can't wait till my bank account looks like Aunt Jemima's bank.
Absolutely. It's there. It's there.
So now I do historical interpretations, first-person narratives of little-known stories that people don't know about. I have done independent film. I've done theater. Most of the work that I do now are one-woman shows that I do. I'm in the process of writing a new show for next year. And so, I just love history. I love the history of Black people because we don't know our history. A lot of our history is not written down. It is passed down from generation to generation. And that is what we've known since Africa, is to orally tell our story.
Okay. We have a lot going on globally. A lot. COVID, you name it. But let me ask you, the history of protesting, that is nothing new. We all know. But that being said, what is the true history of protesting?
Well, first of all, we have to understand the definition of protesting. Protesting, or to protest, simply means that you show an action to express your disapproval of something. And so black people have been protesting since we were brought to these shores in 1619. We protested in Africa for not getting on the boat. We protested once we got here, whether they were silent protests or under the radar protests or in the street protests. We've been protesting for the exact same thing that we are protesting right now for, and that is the treatment of black people in this country. And we're still protesting. And it's the same agenda every time. It's been the same agenda. We want equality. We want better housing. We want better education. We want police brutality to stop. And so it's nothing new for us. The protests aren't new. The riots aren't new. The looting isn't new. It's something that this country basically was founded on. If you think about in 1492, when they came over, the Native Americans protested against the brutality of the Spanish. You know, they didn't just lay down and take it, so there was a protest there. So we've been protesting since the inception of this country. We've been protesting. You look at the protest of the Africans, the Amistad, that was a protest. Nat Turner's rebellion was a protest. Then Mark Vesey's was a protest. Gabriel's was a protest. The Haitian Revolution, all of those were protests against the treatment of black people. And the thing about it is, what following protests usually comes the massacre. And the establishment will retaliate peaceful protests with massacre. You have the 1921 Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre. They want to call it a riot. It was a massacre. You have the Elaine protest in 1919 in Elaine, Arkansas. Following that protest, the massacre. So after peaceful protests and after demands are displayed, you then have massacres and destruction of black communities. And it takes us a very long time to rebuild. We're not destroying our own communities. We're not doing that. That comes after peaceful protests where our communities become destroyed. Whether it becomes destroyed through violence of looting and burning or gentrification. Gentrification is a way of destroying black communities. And so, protests have been around for a long time. It's nothing new.
I'm silent because I want this to be about you and what you have to share. But my question to you, because we have discussed how we feel about different spiritual things, what's your intake on the spiritual impact of protesting for the rights and equalities of the black people?
Without the spiritual aspect, there is no protest. And it really doesn't matter what your faith is. All spiritual beings need to be a part of it. A lot of the protests that took place in the civil rights movement, a lot of the churches were not on board with that. Dr. King did not have 100% backing of the black church when he was head of the civil rights movement. A lot of them thought he was an antagonist and didn't really want to have anything to do with it. And he was very much taken aback at the stance that the black church took against protesting and against asking for equality and for rights. And in his letters from the Birmingham jail, he actually spoke to the church, not just the black church, but to the white church. And he quoted that the church of today does not recapture the sacrificial spirit of the early church. It will lose its authentic ring, forfeit the loyalty of millions, and be dismissed as an irrelevant social club with no meaning for the 20th century.
Hold up. Back it up. See, I'm trying to be quiet. You nailed it. And again, I'm a faith-based podcast network, but that does not mean that I'm blinded to the reality of what this man just said. I really feel what he said is happening on a large level, a giant social club. They have lost the purpose. Let me ask you another question. I know Black Credit Report, and so we're going to get into some other historical things before we move forward. But as far as Martin Luther King is concerned, they said that we have put him on a pedestal. In reality, he was a bought Negro. Have you heard that?
I have. And I despise it when I hear people say that, because bought Negroes don't get beaten with Billy Club by the people who bought him. You know what I mean? If there's a bought Negro, then that would mean that the government put him in place to quell the cries of the black community. Now, to them, he was at sometimes a safe Negro because he didn't advocate for violence. But he was not a bought Negro. Dr. King went to jail 39 times. 39 times in his lifetime, in his short lifetime, he went to jail. He was on the front line. He had water hose turned on him. He's been beaten with Billy Club. So I don't see him as a bought Negro. I don't see where anyone else took the banner to do what he was doing. Prior to Dr. King, we had Vernon Johns. Now, Vernon Johns, that man, Mr. Johns was no joke, and he was very vocal. And when the church that he preached at was tired of him and his vocalization of police brutality and inequality for black people, and they dismissed him of his duty, the next speaker they brought in was Dr. King. They had no idea that they just went from the frying pan right into the fire.
Well, you know, I must be honest. I have not looked up the history, but I do know we have a school here in the Tri-Cities area named after Vernon Johns. So after this episode, I'm going to have to look the old brother up. I knew he was somebody important to have a school named after him, but, you know, I'm being honest. I'm 64 years old, and if I didn't need to learn it, I didn't, because I experienced it. Born in the 50s, I had the crosses burned and the people, you know, dragged behind trucks and children kidnapped. I had it all. White fountains, white restaurants.
And look at it, and we have it again.
Yeah. You know, I always say that his story repeats itself unless we remove ourselves and make our story.
Exactly.
So, again, I don't want to talk too much, but I'm excited. I wish you could see me grinning. I'm just a grinning because I got you to talk to. Let me tell you. Okay, so we've talked about the opinions of others saying that Martin Luther King was a bought Negro. Now, let's talk about Black Credit Report when it comes to giving someone credit. Helping them become recognized for what they have contributed to society. As you told me, you are a Black historian. How can we come together or start individually, not just by reading flashcards, but what can we do to help encourage others to understand who we are as a Black race?
It starts with teaching the children, and I know it sounds cliche, but children are the future, but they really are, and we really have to teach our Black children about their past and about their history, so that they understand where they come from, and that their ancestors were not just enslaved human beings, but even in the enslavement during chattel slavery, they still did great things, and they still invented things, and they created things. Without Black people, this world would really have nothing as a way of the arts, as a way of science. All of that comes out of Africa. And if we don't teach our children that, then they will always think that Black people were slaves first, and that's all that they ever were. So it has to start with the children. People our age, a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them are settled in their ways and don't want to hear about it. Oh, and like you just mentioned, I lived through it. And so that may be a reason why you didn't want to hear about it, because you lived through it. But now that you lived through it, you have to tell your grandchildren what you lived through so that they know. And what you do know about Black people and the creations and the inventions and the contributions that we've made, it's up to us to tell the next generation, because they are not going to do it. And you know what they I'm speaking of, they're not going to do it. We have to do it. I honestly and truly think that integration was one of the worst things that happened to us. After slavery, integrating, and I know this, but our ancestors, they were in situations where if they didn't integrate into white establishments, they didn't have anything at all, and so they fought for that integration. And I get that. But now we have things, we've built things, and so it's time for us now to not totally desegregate, but some segregation is needed in order for us to rebuild the Black community. We have to do some type of segregation. There are wonderful Black schools that people graduated from with honors, but now our Black schools are in despair, and we have to get back to rebuilding our communities. And with these protests, now that we have the attention of those that empower and can make laws and change legislation, now we have to meet them with our demands. And our demands have to be rebuilding the Black community. We have to learn to circulate that dollar in our own community. And we have to go back in history to find out how our ancestors did it with little to nothing. And we have more opportunities now. So how do we take advantage of those opportunities that we now have? So we have to go back in history. And Black, I don't want to talk about that. No, we have to talk about it. Because of our ancestors in the early 1900s to build Black communities that were wealthy and self-sufficient, why can't we do that again?
I got an answer, but I'm going to be quiet.
No, what's your answer? I want to know. Why can't we do it?
Oh, man, come on, your mama. You know I'm a little deep in that spiritual. Let me tell you. I'm just going to say briefly, to me, I know, but it's a spiritual attack. The mindset has been so bombarded with negativity from the spiritual entities that generationally we have adopted negativity. We don't even respect ourselves, much less the race, and that we were the beginning of the race, human race, you know, and that's who we are. And so Satan does not want us to understand that we are royalty. So it's going to be like a crab barrel type thing. You're going to have blacks against blacks, white against blacks, everybody against blacks, Satan against blacks. I did a audio this morning about I Can't Breathe, not because of just our hero Floyd, but I can't breathe because I feel the spiritual oppression from Satan with his knee on the back of humanity's neck, getting them to act intellectually and emotionally instead of understanding that spiritually we have all authority over everything that concerns us and that we are royalty. And nobody wants to respect the darker skin race because we are the beginning of the human race. But that being said, I want to talk about Black Wall Street. You talked about the history of protesting. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people have no, you mentioned building the Black communities and coming together with our wealth and our education. And even though segregation helped, it's time to, segregation, I'm sorry, integration helped. It's time to have some type of ordered segregation. In other words, let's come together as one. Of course, it's going to be hard, but let's talk a little bit about Black Wall Street. A lot of people don't know where it existed, why it existed, and how it was destroyed. Can you give us a brief history on that?
Yes, it was talking about Black Wall Street. The most famous one was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But most major cities had Black Wall Street. We had one right here in Richmond, Jackson Ward.
Absolutely.
That was Black Wall Street. And most major cities had Black communities that were considered Black Wall Street. They were self-sufficient, self-supporting. They had everything that they needed. They had their own school systems, their own businesses, their own churches, their own banks, even their own police. They policed themselves. And so in Tulsa in 1921, you had a community just like that of Black businesses and Black schools and Black churches. And the white establishment was jealous, and they were looking for a reason to get rid of that community. And a young man, and I can't remember his name, he worked in the city in Tulsa, and he was a shoe shine boy, and he worked in this building, and every day he took the elevator with a white woman. And on this particular day, when the elevator opened, she started screaming, and she screamed rape, and they took it upon themselves to find out where he lived, and they went in, they burned this entire community to the ground. They shot women, men, children. They set people on fire. And that community was never able to fully recover. And now, with Black Wall Street, or with any Black community that looks like it's doing well, the new way of destroying it is gentrification.
Explain to the listeners what gentrification is, please.
Gentrification is when white business owners can buy property at a lower rate than what they would sell it to a Black person and move their business into a predominantly Black neighborhood. And so you see grocery stores and fast food stores or restaurants owned by white people in Black neighborhoods. And so now our dollar, even though it's in our neighborhood, it's still not, the dollar is still not circulating through our neighborhood because we're giving the white people who own that business our money, and they're taking it back to wherever they live. Their business is in our neighborhood, but they don't live in our neighborhood. One neighborhood in particular here in Richmond is Church Hill. I can go to Church Hill now, and I have to look and make sure that I didn't drive straight through it and end up somewhere else because it's not the Church Hill that I used to know, where it was historic Church Hill, as they used to call it, with the beautiful homes and Black businesses, and now it's been gentrified and taken over by others and pushing Black homes out, Black people out of their businesses, out of their homes. And where are we going to go? Where are we going? We can't afford to live in the suburbs. Where are we supposed to go?
Yeah. Not only that, I have to interject this as well. There are people of other ethnicities that are doing the same thing. Exactly. Asians, Indian, other descents from other areas are doing just that. When I was growing up, they would always say, be careful of the Jews, because the white people were coming in and they had the neighborhood stores where you can buy food on credit and all kinds of things. Then everything that you rented, white person owned, and they lived in the better neighborhoods, but they owned the property that you were renting from. But now you see a lot of other ethnicities doing the exact same thing. And so, as far as gentrification is concerned, I have to say it's not just the Caucasian white um, race. It's other races also. I'm not going to say buying us out, but moving our control out of our hands. So the next question I want to have before we come to a close, we talked about gentrification. We talked about the history of protesting. We talked about not only just Tulsa's Wall Street, but the fact that there were some prominent neighborhoods all over the country, some well known, some not so well known. Based on the events that are happening now, where you say, people are buying properties up, and or back in the day, they just burnt us down. With the level of violence that is becoming more public against the Black race, most of it is verbal, but a lot of people plan on carrying it out. And with the POTUS saying to the police officers, don't worry about being gentle on people, they're criminals. Do you feel that when you said at the beginning of the video that after every protest, there's violence, where do you think we're going after this protest?
I don't like to speak things because I don't want them to come into existence. I'm hoping that, like you said, we're already seeing the violence. We're protesting police brutality in the middle of police brutality. Because if you're looking at the videos and the news that they speak of, it's the protesters that are being tear gassed, and it's the protesters that are being beaten and arrested. And they keep talking about all of these rioters and these looters, but I don't see any of them being arrested. I don't see them being arrested. What I'm seeing is protesters being shot with pepper spray and rubber bullets and things of that nature. And yes, there are some people who have been training for this their whole lives because it has been passed down from generation to generation. And they're waiting. They are waiting for POTUS to give them the go ahead to do whatever. And I fear that will happen again, that there will be retaliation of these protests. And if not now, certainly in November. If 45 does not say 45 and we get a 46, there will be definitely. Because we've seen it. We've already seen it. We know what they're capable of. Anytime you go to City Hall with an AK 47 or AR-15 or whatever it is, assault rifle that they call it, simply because you were asked to stay in the house because of a virus, what do you think is going to happen if 45 is removed?
What do you think will happen if he's not removed? I think we're in a catch-22, to be honest with you, but
Exactly. If he's not removed, it will be subtle like it is now. If he's removed, it will be a civil war.
Well,
you had better get ready for it.
You know what? Thank you for saying that, because as we come to a close, I just want to say, I believe there is controversy surrounding the Bible. Let's just say that. But what I believe in the Bible includes prophecy. And I have learned I can't pray away prophecy. And like you said, be careful what you speak into existence, because it establishes itself in the spirit realm. But prophecy is unfolding in my lifetime where I thought, oh, I won't live to see that. I won't live to see that. So I'm preparing myself to survive prophecy, which is the continued discord between races, economical classes. There's a lot of things that's going on now that has never gone on in this particular lifetime that people are not aware of. I mean, we've had recessions, oppressions, we've had a whole lot of stuff in the history of humanity. But the reason why I'm concerned this time is because now technology is taking hold, with people being suggestively required to have a mandatory vaccination, um, suggesting a mandatory chip to say you have been put into a system where you can go and come anywhere you want to go. They want to have you tested for antibodies to see if you are immune or are you carrying the COVID-19. There's concern that, with all pandemics, was it man-made, spiritual made, or just an accident? But with this one, is a lot of controversy about it was deliberately created and is being antagonized by the 5G internet. So what I'm saying is there are times in the past that, yes, they were terrible, but now we have technology having a lot to do with it. Major trucker companies are going out of business, and if the truckers are going out of business, how are we going to get the supplies? If you don't need as many supplies, why would the manufacturers keep making them at the amount that they are? So there's going to be some shortages of things. And like I said, I am a woman of faith. I'm not dumb. I'm not naive, but I believe that prophecy is unfolding to a point where things will never be the same again. And where we're going is not going to all be pleasant. So that being said, Yemima, I thank you so much for joining me on the Black Curtain Report. I definitely got to go look up Brother John's.
Oh, yeah. There is actually a movie called The Running John Story, and James Earl Jones plays Running John. He does such a wonderful job. Such a wonderful job of playing it. So, yeah. And I know one of Running John's great nephews. He's a good friend of mine. And when I tell you, he walks in the spirit of his great uncle in such a way.
Oh, I would love to interview him. Am I putting a plug out there? Hey, you listening to Yemima? Let's talk. Let's talk a little bit. Let's do a little something on Storm Talk.
I will definitely let him know, and I will have him get in touch with you if he wants to do interviews. He definitely walks in the spirit of his ancestors.
I'm excited, and so do you. Thank you for the information on Yemima. It's such a blessing to call that name now that I know the real history behind it. But again, thank you so much. Tell everybody where they can find you. I know we're doing this COVID-19 thing, but there are virtual things that you can do, and there are other things that you can do to bless people with what you know and the talent that you have. So tell them how they can reach you.
You can reach me on my Facebook page, Yemima's World. Anything that I have coming up is posted there. Right now, I am just hunkered in and doing some writing, getting prepared for some new programming that I want to do next year. And then you can, you want me to come to your school or your churches. Again, I do historical interpretations of various characters and various ancestors. So just look at my Facebook page and you'll see who I do, what I do, and give me a call.
I'm absolutely, you know what? I'm looking forward to every 2 weeks. I really am. This is such an amazing opportunity. So thank you so much again for joining me, not only today, but for agreeing to come to Storm Radio 24/7 with your amazing stories. All right, everybody, this is Ms.B. You can find me at www.stormtalk365radio.com, along with myself and all the other podcasters to help you to talk to the storms in your life. You can also find us at Storm Radio 24/7, where Yemima Davis and many others are having their say on our podcast. Have a great day. Love you. Be blessed in the Lord. Bye-bye, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.